So, I read that you came to Thailand over 40 years ago, and I want to know why did you come here and what made you stay here?
I was working with Swissair at that time, in London, in Bern and in Zurich. And when they closed Bern Airport, because it wasn't profitable anymore, they transferred me to the cargo section in Zurich, and I didn't like to work in freight. So I looked for another job. Reading the newspaper in Zurich, I saw an opening for a travel office manager in Thailand. So I applied because my plan was to go 2-3 years abroad, didn't really matter where, to gain some experience and then come back. Well, I liked it here and I never came back. That's it.
Okay, so it was also a way to get international experience to boost the career back in Switzerland?
Oh yes, that was the main aim. And to gain better English knowledge, experience. Yes, that was, it always looks good on a CV when you have foreign experiences a couple of years.
Yes, that's still the case, I guess, yeah. And what advice would you give to young professionals who like to build a career here in Thailand or in Southeast Asia?
Well, it is not easy to get a real job when you're young. So the best thing is to come first as a trainee, as an intern. Do an internship between 3 and 6 months in any international company here. And then you get a feeling for things, how things are not the same like in Switzerland, for example, how the rules are interpreted, how the relations are with your colleagues. Lots of things you learn.
Yeah.
And then if after 6 months or so you feel, hey, this would be a nice place for me to work, then look around and see which multinationals could have an opening for you. The problem is, of course, work permits in Thailand.
Yeah.
You see, when you employ a foreigner, you must justify why you employ a foreigner instead of a Thai.
Right, there are a lot of regulations about
Yes, and you cannot just employ him as a simple worker in some field. He or she has to be a manager, a specialist in whatever field you employ them. And only then will the Ministry of Labor give you a work permit.
Only if you're not a competitor to the local labor
Yes,
force.
generally yes. Now there are exceptions, say in the hotel business, when you come here for training in exchange for a Thai who can go abroad. This you can do.
Yeah.
But in general, yes, you have to prove that this position cannot be filled by a Thai national. That's why you need a foreign.
Okay. You mentioned the internships, and internships aren't that common so far in Thailand. So, do you know of any Swiss companies who offer internships here in Thailand? Maybe Asian Trails? Or?
Of course, I mean, not so common. I wouldn't really agree with you.
Okay.
In the tourism business, which is my main business, we have had interns for over 10 years.
Okay.
And up to 5 or 6 overseas interns at the same time in different departments. The same in the hotel business. I know that many young students from universities came here for half a year or a year doing an internship at a hotel anywhere.
Yes.
You can also do, once you become a medical doctor, you can do your internship here in Thailand. I know some people who did it. Usually, of course, you don't make any money.
Yes,
I mean,
yeah.
if
you
you're
cannot
lucky,
get a work permit,
yes, you get a work permit, you probably get free accommodation and some kind of meal allowance. Either the meals, if you work in a hotel, or a meal allowance, like if you work for Asian Trails, we would pay you 10,000 baht a month as a meal allowance.
Okay.
You can live from that, it's okay, but
Yes.
you don't get rich.
Yeah. Yeah. I read that Thailand was about to restore the talks concerning the free trade agreement with Switzerland last September. Is this issue again put on ice since political situation changed in Thailand, or do we see progress in the near future?
No progress at all, since we have no more ministers. This whole thing has been stopped.
Yeah.
But I must say, to me, it wasn't clear from the beginning on what they tried to achieve with this agreement.
Mm-hmm.
We had a delegation here, we had a reception at the embassy with these delegates, and I asked several people, what benefits will we get here in Thailand? So nobody really knew. It was supposed to be secret while they negotiate with the Thai authorities. So we don't really know what will be beneficial to us after they eventually signed the agreement.
Okay. You're also the head of the SwissThai Chamber of Commerce, and the SwissThai Chamber of Commerce seems not as active as other chambers. Are you going to change that, or?
Active is a relative definition. We have events almost every month. Mm-hmm. But active, you see, it depends on the needs of the members. We have over 100 members here. And if any member has a problem or an issue, we will deal with it immediately. But since most Swiss companies here are well established, I would say we have fewer issues than the US or the Australians or the French, if you want.
Oh.
So, you know, Thailand was never a colony, right?
Yes.
Which made the Swiss establish themselves here much earlier than most of the others. The French went to Indochina, and the Brits went to Malaysia and to Singapore and to India. The Swiss were always here, like DTAM Company Limited. They started in the 1890s to set up a company here. So some of them are really over 100 years old. Mm-hmm. So they know their way around. And being long established here, they have certain privileges. Like if nowadays you want to invest and you have a minimum of 51% Thai ownership requirement, the old companies, they don't have this rule. They can be 100% foreign owned.
If you arrived
They have these godfather rights.
Oh.
So many Swiss companies benefit from that.
Yeah. Besides that, do you think that I, as a Swiss person, had a very warm welcoming here in Thailand? Do you think that Swiss people and Swiss businessmen maybe get treated a bit better than others?
I would say so. You see, all Thais know that the king did his education in Lausanne. So then they are aware of Switzerland being a good host country.
Right.
So they treat the Swiss, I think we get some preferential treatment because of all these relations. Yes, any Swiss is welcome here, and there is no, how should I say, no opposition by Thais feeling, oh, they come and take my job. So generally, there is no such feeling. And since we were never a colony here, there is no bad feeling against foreigners coming here.
Right.
They're welcome.
Yeah, yeah. That's what we can see here.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much for the interview.
You're most welcome.
And good luck.
Thank you.
Fique atento para o próximo episódio.
Tune in for the next episode.